I was sitting in my kitchen the other day, watching a single shaft of afternoon light hit a stack of old mail. It's a quiet house now. Sometimes that silence feels like a warm blanket. Other times it feels like a question I don't know how to answer. I found myself looking at an old tablet on the counter. The screen's cracked and the battery barely holds a charge, but the wallpaper is still a photo from a beach trip in '98. My son was 10 then, shins covered in sand, laughing at a wave. It's strange, isn't it, how we carry the ghosts of our children around with us, even when the adults they've become are standing right in front of us, using words that sting like salt in a wound. If you're over 60, you know that the hardest part of aging isn't the creak in your knees. It's the realization that the people you gave life to have learned exactly where your heart is thinnest. We've been told that being a parent means an eternal surrender, but I've lived long enough to know that even the strongest oak will fail if the vines around it never stop tightening. Today, let's talk about 6 phrases, not just arguments, but signals. When you hear these, I want you to do the hardest thing in the world. I want you to walk away, not because you've stopped loving them, but because you finally decided to stop letting the storm inside your house. Number 1, you're just remembering it wrong. There's a specific kind of chill that settles in your bones when a child tells you that your own life didn't happen the way you saw it. Nowadays, the young folks call it gaslighting. To me, it just feels like someone trying to smudge the ink in my own diary. Mom, that never happened. Dad, you're just getting confused. I've sat through those conversations. You start to look at your own hands and wonder if they're real. But listen to me. Your memory is your porch. You've earned every square inch of it. If they are standing on your porch telling you the sun isn't shining when you can feel the heat on your face, the conversation is already over. You can't find common ground with someone who is trying to dig the ground out from under your feet. Don't argue. Don't go looking for old letters to prove you're right. Just stand up. Go to your garden. Let them argue with the empty chair. Your truth doesn't need their signature to be valid. Number 2, if you don't do this, you won't see the grandkids. This one tastes like copper. It's the sound of a heavy iron door slamming shut. Using a child as a bargaining chip is a form of emotional poverty. It's what people do when they've run out of ways to earn your respect, so they decide to rent it from you. They take the love you have for those little ones, that pure, uncomplicated sunlight, and they put a price tag on it. Give me the loan, babysit all weekend, or I'll take away the light. I've seen friends of mine crumble under this. I've seen them drain their savings and ruin their health just to get an hour of FaceTime with a toddler. But here's the hard truth. If the relationship is a hostage situation, you aren't a grandparent, you're a resource. When the ransom note is laid on the table, don't negotiate. Say, "I'm sorry you feel that's necessary," and walk out. You aren't abandoning the children. You are refusing to let their parents poison the well. Number 3, you owe me because you're my parent. I've noticed a strange wind blowing through the country lately. It suggests that because we brought our children into the world, we are eternally in their debt, as if life itself wasn't the gift. I've heard 40-year-olds say this to mothers living on Social Security. You owe me a down payment. You owe me an apology for 1985. I spent many nights wondering if they were right. I remembered the times I lost my temper, the birthday party I missed because of work. I let that guilt be a leash for a long time. But then I realized the debt of parenthood is paid in the raisin. It was paid in the thousands of sandwiches, the feverish nights, the teaching them how to hold a fork and a hope. When they reach adulthood, the ledger is closed. If they approach you with a balance sheet instead of a heart, walk away. You are not a bank, and you are no longer a servant. You finished the job. It's okay to be off the clock. Number 4, you're just being too sensitive. This is a velvet glove with a brick inside. It's what people say when they want to hurt you and then blame you for feeling the pain. We were raised to have thick skin, weren't we? But as I've gotten older, I've found my skin has gotten thinner, and I think that's a blessing. It means I'm more porous. I can feel the world again. When you say it hurts when you talk to me that way, and they respond with, "You're too sensitive," they are asking you to go numb so they can stay comfortable. Well, I'm done being numb. I worked 60 years to find my voice. I'm not going to let it be silenced because it's a nuisance to someone else. If they offer a critique of your personality instead of an apology, there is nothing left to say. Become a gray rock. Be boring. Be unreactive. If you're too sensitive for their sharp edges, then stop letting them press against you. Number 5, I guess I'm just the worst child in the world then. The martyr's pivot. You bring up a small, reasonable boundary. Maybe you don't want them coming over without calling, or you're tired of the criticism, and they explode into this dramatic performance of guilt. They want you to stop being the one who was hurt and start being the one who comforts them. No, honey, you aren't the worst. I'm sorry I mentioned it. Stop. It's like trying to walk through a room full of tripwires. I've realized that when someone plays the worst child card, they are actually refusing to grow up. They're hiding behind a tantrum so they don't have to look at the truth. Don't chase them into that room. If they want to be the victim, let them have the stage. You don't have to stay for the play. Pick up your keys and go get a coffee. The air is much clearer outside. Number 6, after all I've done for you lately. This one is the most deceptive because it looks like kindness. It usually comes after they've helped you with your taxes or fixed a leak in the sink. Suddenly, that favor becomes a bill you have to pay with your silence. I helped you move, so how can you tell me I can't be rude in your house? In a healthy family, we help each other because our roots are intertwined. But when help is used as a scorecard, it isn't help, it's an investment, and they're looking for a return. I've reached a point where I'd rather struggle with my computer for 3 days than have someone hold it over my head for 3 months. Your dignity isn't for sale, and it certainly shouldn't be traded for a ride to the doctor. If their kindness has strings attached, start cutting the strings. The golden hour. I look at my garden sometimes and I see how the plants just exist. They don't apologize for needing the sun. They grow as tall as they can and then they rest. We are in the golden hour of our lives. The light is long and soft. We don't have time for the jagged edges of people who haven't learned how to love us properly, even if we are the ones who taught them their first words. Walking away isn't an act of war, it's an act of stewardship. You are the steward of your own peace. If you don't protect it, no one else will. I'd love to hear from you. Have you heard these phrases? How did you find the strength to choose yourself? Share your story in the comments. It might be the very thing someone else needs to read to feel less alone today. Until next time, keep your heart soft, but your porch light clear. God bless.